Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. As promised earlier in the week, today I'm going to talk about a tragedy that occurred in Knoxville, Tennessee, because a little girl wanted to go to the Sells Brothers Circus. Before I start, I just want to go ahead and put a warning out there. This video may contain adult content, violence, as well as some offensive terminology regarding mental health in some of the old newspaper articles. So viewer discretion is advised. Okay, so I'm going to be talking about the Dearman family today. And I'm just going to go ahead and tell you guys, I was raised in a holler in East Tennessee, and I'm horrible with pronunciation. I understand how offensive it can be when someone mispronounces your last name, as that happens to me all the time. But I just can't help it, so I apologize in advance. But this particular family, their name was Dearman, D-E-A-M-O-N-D, which is later transcribed as D-E-E-R-M-A-N, so I'm assuming that the name was still pronounced Dearman back then as well. Excuse me. So, I'm going to start 2 years prior to this incident in 1880. The Dearman family, they lived in Knoxville. They was on a corner street. I can't remember the streets right off. I'll put a picture of the map up here, though. They were, their apartment was real near, I think where present-day Gay Street is. But they lived on a corner in an apartment complex in 1880. And as the censor taker made notations about this particular family, in 1880, there was Frank Dearman, who was head of the household, and his wife Sarah, who was, her occupation was a seamstress, and he was it said saddler, and later I found some other documents saying he was a saddle maker, and along with 2 children in the household, who are listed as stepdaughters of Frank, and their names are Fanny and Addie. Fanny was 15 in 1880, and Addie was 9. Notations made in this particular census in 1880 on Fanny, and I'll put a brief picture of this up as well, stated that she was subject to fits. So I'm assuming that this meant that little Fanny had some sort of mental illness at the time. And later newspaper articles after this incident occurred confirms that Fanny had a mental health issue. The girls' names, although it shows them as Dearman in the 1880 census, I do not believe that they ever changed their name to Dearman. And their name, I'm assuming by their father, was it was spelled I-G-O-U, and in some cases it was spelled I-G-O-N. But for some reason they were just classified as Dearman in this 1880 census. But if we move on to 2 more years up to 1882, October 17th, the Sells Brothers Circus was coming to Knoxville, and it was the thing that everyone was talking about. The Sells Brothers Circus was an amazing show. Everyone loved going to the circus. They had so many different shows and side shows and freak shows and all these exotic animals that people just absolutely love to go see. It wasn't every day in Tennessee that you could see elephants or, things like that in 1880. So, the circus was a big deal to a lot of people, especially children. And it was especially a big deal to Fanny. She really wanted to go to the circus. For for some reason, Sarah, her Fanny's mother, told her that she was not going to the circus. And Fanny had a meltdown. She had a fit. According to newspaper articles, she went outside and was throwing rocks at people on the streets, attacking people. She was just absolutely out of control to the point where Sarah had to get her husband involved and to discipline Fanny. So Frank took his stepdaughter and he whipped her, which it really just made things worse. Fanny was threatening him in all different kinds of manners. And she eventually yelled at him that she was going to cut his throat with his own razor blade. And along with all the other threats, Frank didn't take these threats from a 15-year-old stepdaughter very seriously. She was just mad because she wanted to go to the circus. And she would eventually calm down and cool off. That's what everyone thought. But the next morning, somewhere between 4 and 5 a.m., the whole neighborhood was awakened by horrible, horrible screams. It was just shrilling screams. Sarah woke up and found her husband making noises, and when she came to and was able to visually see what was going on, there was blood everywhere. Frank had a gash from one ear to the other. His trachea was visible and he was bleeding profusely. So she got help there. They were all patching Frank up, trying to keep him from bleeding to death. And while all this was going on, a police officer discovered Fanny, who was around 16 or 17 at the time. She was under the bed with Frank's razor still in her hand. So she comes out from under the bed when she's addressed and throws the razor on the floor and just walks to her bedroom like nothing ever happened and got in the bed and covered up. It took a while for officers to get her out of the bed, and they did arrest Fanny. And the newspaper articles state that they didn't arrest Fanny with intention on criminal charges per se, but they felt that she was incompetent and a danger to society and didn't need to be left in society. So they took her and arrested her, and Frank slowly did mend and heal, and he somehow, amazingly, he didn't die from this. And Fanny was sent to trial, and she was found guilty of attempted murder of her stepfather, and she was sentenced to go to the Nashville Insane Asylum. Unfortunately, I can't find any records of what happened to Fanny after this. I don't know if she just spent her life in the asylum and died there. I don't know if she was somehow cured of her mental disease while she was there and eventually released and went on to live a life. I can't find any records of Fanny after this occurred. I did find some articles on her little sister who eventually got married. I found a newspaper announcement that Frank's stepdaughter was getting married. She married a man named Ingalls in Knoxville. And I did eventually find the death certificate of Frank, and by the time he had passed away, he had a different wife. I'm not sure if Sarah passed away and then he remarried. I'm not sure what happened there either. The 1880s and 90s time frame is really difficult to research because there's a lack of records. So anytime after 1880 and before 1900, there's gaps in almost all families because documentation is lacking for that time frame. But that's a story that I have about little Fanny who wanted to go to the Sells Brothers Circus and cut her stepfather's throat because she could not do so. This is going to lead up to a series of stories on both circuses as well as insane asylums. So this story is just a kickoff of many other stories with similar events or circumstances to this one. So that's my story that I have for you guys today. And as always, if you like the content of my channel, please hit the subscribe button down below. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe, it's free. And then after you hit the subscribe button, there's a little bell button. And if you hit that, you'll be notified anytime I upload any new videos. That way you won't miss any of the videos that I upload. And that's all I've got for you guys. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.